Ladies and gentlemen, today is Sunday, December 13th at 1:59, now 2 o'clock p.m. We are doing this because we had prior engagements on Friday and Saturday, but what will not be overshadowed and what will not be tossed aside, pushed aside, is the events that took place last night. As you can see, I direct your attention to the bottom line ticker. Florida edged up by LSU 37-34. It was fun while it lasted, wasn't it, Carlos? Now, you, my friend, gave me so much shit about this game. And my response was, yeah, I don't care. Because LSU's not good, and I'm not looking. I didn't even watch the game, Carlos. I just so happened to stumble upon the final score on Instagram. And much to my chagrin, gave me ability to cheer up. Because I had a bit of a down day yesterday. But seeing the fact that I could torment you for a second about the trash you talked, oh, buddy, it put a smile on my face. You have no idea how much of a smile and joy it brought to my heart to just call you on FaceTime, to just look at you, not even say anything, just look at you and stare at you, waiting for your anticipation of me saying something, which is more joyous than actually saying something to you. So for that, I say, thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Florida, for giving me just a piece of joy in this overall football season, NFL and college. Appreciate it.
It will fuck you very much, Kenny. Meanwhile, I had to sit and watch this game in disgust. Why? Because first and foremost, we were down roughly 7 to 3 points throughout the majority of the game. Until we ended up ahead of you motherfuckers by 3, in which you guys ended up tying the game up. Fine, whatever. All right. Well, we get to a point in the fourth quarter, in the last 2 minutes of the game, where on 3rd and 10, y'all try to go for, I want to say it was like a flat of some sort, in which we shut that shit down. Y'all are about to punt. Special teams was about to hop on the field. But oh no, a flag, Kenny. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 3, defense. He tossed the fucking receiver's shoe essentially where the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty landed LSU for that first down. That son of a bitch. With that being said, y'all march downfield and kick a 57, I want to say, yard field goal. It was 53 or 57 yards, somewhere in between that. We get the ball back with 27 seconds left. We march downfield on you sons of bitches. We go for the game-winning field goal, or the game-tying field goal. And this little shit hook left. Kenny, I've never been so infuriated. Well, I can name quite a few examples in the last couple of weeks where I've been so infuriated. But that was extremely infuriating because that kid made a mistake that could have completely been avoided. But bottom line is that motherfucker wanted to be seen. That's all this boils down to. You get to the excitement of the game, you get hype, the spoils of victory, sure. That'll get you gassed up. But you got to remember, until you get off the field, there's a chance you can cause a 15 fucking yard penalty. So get the fuck off the field and celebrate. That's why I'm so goddamn furious about it. Like a major crunch time situation, and you do some shit like that. And it's your fault. So you gotta live that down.
Well, season's not over yet. You can still make the playoff.
No, that's done, Kenny. Because we were on the outside looking at it in the first fucking place.
How many losses y'all got?
3 now.
Oh yeah,
we're done. Our season is done. We're going to be in some fucking. We'll be lucky to be in a New Year's Bowl. Lucky to be in a orange or sugar bowl. We will be fucking lucky to be in it, and it will be a goddamn miracle if any of the 4 teams that are projected to be in the playoffs by somehow fuck up.
Yeah, we were unranked.
My thing is,
we were unranked too.
Yeah, that's insult to injury. My thing is, I'm confident. I'm still somehow confident that if we were to make it into the playoffs, we'd at least go to the national championship. However, that dream is over because we proved to have no fucking business anywhere near the playoffs this year. Like,
what are you gonna do, man?
Right.
What are you gonna do?
However, live via satellite, it is Gorilla Game Podcast. I am your empathetic yet foul-mouthed half of the show, Carlos Crawford. Here with me is my morally grounded yet ironically immoral intelligence equal. All right. Just I'm over it. I'm over it.
My name's Kenneth Whitaker. That is my name. And we are here for another edition of the Gorilla Gang Podcast. I'm excited. I'm very excited about this episode. Just to see the poo-poo on his face. I am excited. This brings me joy. Y'all don't understand. I live to troll this guy. Because it's great. It's fun trolling him.
Yeah, well, as long as
Archie Griffin. You know what I'm saying?
As long as I got anything Philadelphia-centric slander in my back pocket, I got to even fight. So,
well, guess what? Yeah, that's running out of steam soon.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever run out of steam.
No, it will.
As far as Philadelphia material go, oh God, we can go back to the Constitution.
That has nothing to do with Philly being a bad one. Philly is a freedom state. DC is not. DC's not even a state.
It's still Philadelphia. These jokes going to fly.
Maryland is a Confederate.
And if you think I don't have good colonial jokes about Philadelphia, oh, you got another thing coming.
Maryland is a Confederate state. You know that, right?
You know what?
Maryland's a Confederate state. So you love a Confederate state.
Well, Maryland was like half and half. That explains the double shield. It was a half and half state. However, seeing as how it was south of the Mason-Dixon line, predominantly Confederate. However, it was half Confederate, half Union.
Confederate. If you all the way Union or all the way Confederate, ain't no in between. Half and half makes you Confederate.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't.
You know who else you like? You like Atlanta. That was a Confederate state.
Yes, it was.
And you know what you like?
State.
No, what else you like? You like Florida, Confederate state too.
Doesn't get more Confederate than Florida.
You like racist states. Does that make you racist?
Well, here's the thing about my racism. It has no power. So
So you did not deny you did not deny being a racist though.
I just said so. No.
No, you're a racist.
In theory, discriminatory, sure, but racist again. How? I have no power. It holds no power. I'll put it to you like this, right? If I were to call the cops, how much faster would it take if I had a white woman speaking for me?
About 5 minutes.
I think a little shorter than that.
They'll be there in a 5 minute amount of time. It wouldn't take that long.
Now, mind you, there's a police station right around the corner from my house. You know what I'm saying? There have been times where, you know, we've been called to certain homes in my neighborhood, and they've shown up in, you know, 5 minutes or so. There have been phone calls made in my neighborhood for different reasons, and they've shown up 45 minutes after the event happened. So, again, a toss-up. I can't call it, but I can kind of smell it. Nonetheless, this week, I don't necessarily have a full 10 count. So, we're just going to discuss some things, actually. Like Vince McMahon sending Keith Lee and Otis back to the Performance Center, which, what? Pfizer manufacturing the COVID vaccine. Arizona State absolutely defiling Arizona 70-7. War Games results. And apparently not even God wanted that Ashanti and Keisha Cole versus to happen. No.
Damn, what happened with that? I can't wait to hear that.
He got COVID.
Jesus Christ.
So,
oh, baby, I'm coughing lip. I got a fever on me. I think I got COVID, baby. I got struck with COVID, baby.
I guess we'll start there, right?
I don't know why my fever is so high. I got some hoes and I drank some tea, but I don't wanna die.
So yeah, she got COVID.
I heard stories about the Rona.
Yeah, it's not rescheduled for like January 3rd or whatever. It's like, who even asked for this in the first place? That's where I want to start.
I mean, they could do it like Babyface and Teddy Riley did it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we asked for Babyface and Teddy Riley to a certain extent.
Ashanti and Keisha Cole would be right.
Asking for Ashanti and Keisha Cole. They just decided they wanted to do it.
A lot of people actually want to see it.
Why? What are we doing here? Because like I saw a picture of Ashanti like singing like she was hitting a hard note, and it made me wonder what song that she's ever made caused her to sing like that.
No matter.
First and foremost. Second of all,
it doesn't matter. A lot of people want to see this verse.
Keisha,
not as many people that want to see Gucci and Jeezy.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of people want to see this verse.
The world wanted to see Gucci and Jeezy.
The world thought that it was going to be World War VI.
Aliens in there. This shit's about to be crazy.
This shit,
This might be our way out, though. Nobody will go nuts over Ashanti and Keisha Cole. They're gonna go moderately, like, you know. They're gonna be like, yay.
I just told you.
I think that versus is more so for the housewives.
No, that versus is more so for.
I'm telling you, a lot of people want to see it. You might not want to take my word for it, but take my word for it. There were a lot of people who wanted to see that versus.
Which fascinates the hell out of me. But
why?
Because Carlos doesn't like anything.
That's facts.
Points are being made here, but points are being made here. These are points being made, but I just don't see. All right,
come on, give me this big ass rationale. Let's go.
Erica and Jill Scott. This is the match. This was, you know, a dream matchup. Everyone wants it. Like, it's one thing to have a matchup that some people want, or a certain section of people want, or a certain demographic of people want, and then there's another thing to have a versus that, like, literally everyone would love to see.
Big guy, just because you don't want to see it, or you don't know anybody that want to see it, doesn't mean that the world doesn't want to see it.
I know people that want to see it. That's the crazy part about it. And I'm like, why? I'm even asking them why.
It's Keisha Cole and Ashanti.
Yeah, okay. I acknowledge that.
So then, what's the problem?
How
long theme with all these verses?
It will go.
Also, a theme of all these verses is a certain level of nostalgia.
Like, you gotta remember of Ashanti and Keisha Cole hits. Do Ashanti and Keisha Cole even have 20 hits each?
You know that they write for people, right? Those are included in verses.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, all right. See, that kind of changes things for me now.
Timberland and Swiss Beats did a verses because they write for people. Like,
well, they produce that. Right. I thought that was the basis.
People ghostwrite.
Like, well, yeah, I know people ghostwrite, but I didn't know ghostwriting was a criteria in verses. That kind of changes
the. It's not a criteria, but again, you can utilize it. Like, all right,
that changes things up now because it doesn't have to be strictly Ashanti and Keisha Cole songs. All right. Now I'm intrigued. You know, now you have my attention.
Because if you think about it, like, all right, let's do this. Like, so a fire ass versus would be Neo versus like Music Soul Child.
Huh.
Or even the Dream.
Or Miguel. Ooh, I'd love to see Miguel up against somebody.
But that's what, like, now you understand. Like, people have fire.
Miguel versus Jeremiah. Who says no?
Me.
It might be some fire that we didn't even know they produced. Like, or. Nah. Keep that. That shit's sleek as fuck. all black. All black. But but nonetheless, all right. Now you know I'm interested.
Yeah, you can do like tracks you produce. You can do tracks you're featured on. You can do a lot of shit. Like, that's why, again. Like, even though 2 Chainz and Rick Ross both have 20 hits, they were using shit like they featured on.
Yeah, because we could have done 20 sound Rick Ross and 2 Chainz hits easily. Yeah. That's for true. So it's like, all right, now that you know the writing credits is also a factor.
Then, like,
it's
you gotta understand, like
now that broadens my horizons as to who I really want to see now.
Yeah. Like, it's basically what you've done your entire catalog or body work. So whether it be, like, again, produced, wrote, featured, your tracks, like, that's why even Rick Ross was like, for real, he was like, I didn't even get into my double MG shit.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, I could go 20 tracks in my double MG
exactly. Shit. Exactly. So, yeah. You feel me? So, nonetheless, you know, be even funnier though.
What?
Seeing as how it's like involving writing credits if Ashanti played Amru.
That's so funny. You know what? I'm not doing this with you. That
No,
yeah, it's funny. You know.
It's funny. Yeah, it's funny, but you know, I'm just saying. Or ain't it funny?
You know what?
Ah, man. Woo!
Mahomes got 2 picks and no touchdown.
If you know, you know. So next subject, actually, because I actually wanted to discuss this because Herm Edwards was in his bag this Saturday. Arizona State put 70 up on Arizona. Kenny, have you ever seen, or Kenny, what's the highest scoring game you've ever seen in college football?
That Texas UFC game. It had a lot of points in it. I had never seen nobody score 70. Only time I seen it was playing NCAA.
Exactly. That's the only way. And you'll see 70 football game. But if you watched a Big 12 game back in the mid 2000s and early 2010, like you were bound to see a 60-point game.
Yeah, I've seen 60-point games before in college.
So
I've never seen 70. That means Arizona is trash. I also seen something last week, the other day, that was actually good. What's the girl's name? Sarah Fuller?
Yeah, let's actually discuss Sarah Fuller.
She kicked, which almost missed, but it went through race regardless.
Here's my thing, and I need you to follow me here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. They're hyping this girl.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I said they're hyping her. Because my thing is, there are more than likely, I'm willing to bet, to be honest, a gang of girls that can play football, but they're never necessarily given the shot to. So it's like, it just seems passe that they, took this girl and was like, we're going to make her a kicker because we're just down. We're just down bad people, like, because of COVID and the circumstances. And we're just going to let her kick. And they're making this a whole pariah that, like, she's revolutionizing or, a game changer or anything like that. When in reality, it's A, the circumstance, and B, for real, if we really want to take a step further, at the end of the season, they should be considering whether or not they should allow females to play football collegiately, at least, because there are women playing football in theory professionally, if you count the Legends Football League. So, I just kind of groan at how they're hyping this girl up. But it's like, shouts out to her because she, kicked her first field goal. So I don't hate it, but I think that they're, hyping the entire situation up for what it really is. And honestly, it should be normalized.
It should be. But you know, the state that we are
There are girls out there that are tough as hell that can take a hit, bro. Like I've seen it. That's my thing.
I just be worried about somebody getting hurt.
That's my thing. Like one of my childhood friends is like probably one of the toughest girls that I know. But like she'll probably argue that this was back when she was big. But nonetheless,
have you seen that girl? If she was to get hit, some of these dudes are like 250 pounds though, coming at full speed. I would be afraid of that.
Yeah, but
like I wouldn't want to see a woman like tear her Achilles. You know what I'm saying? I don't see anybody tear their Achilles, but it'd be like 10 times tragic if you see a woman like tear her Achilles because a 250-pound dude hit her like she was also a 250-pound man.
I don't mean to laugh at that. What I do want to say is this. What if I told you that the sports that women play can also cause injury?
I mean, yes, I know that.
What about it? You know what I'm saying? Like injuries are going to happen. It's sports. It's physical. Game, especially with football. Girls can get injured playing soccer, bro. Like it don't matter for real.
Yes,
but if she got the ovaries of fucking, catch a motherfucking pass across the middle, I say let her because she might get hurt, but she might eat that shit too.
You might find somebody that's got the likes of an a la Sean Taylor and try to kill her across that middle and don't even think about her being a woman.
Well, on the other side of that coin, we might find a female Sean Taylor in the process. You can tell me.
I think it's more likely finding a Sean Taylor prodigy than finding a female Sean Taylor.
Listen, I would be over the moon to watch some young lady fly downhill and just completely obliterate a tight end.
And how would that be?
I would
get struck by a female like that. That'd be a big pride to eat. Niggas would retire from the league.
I would lose my shit. I would die. I would kill to watch that. Because here's the thing. I don't know if you watch LFL, but them bros be booming too.
Yes, but they're
hitting. I love watching women's football.
But they're hitting other women.
Sure.
You might not be able to boom like that on a dude. Just my opinion. Not saying that they can't play. I'm just saying it'd probably be a little harder for them.
Some of those dudes weigh as much. Wide receivers are what? 220 pounds at the most. The most. That's if you're Calvin fucking Johnson. The average wide receiver maxes out at 200.
I guess. I'm just saying. I just be real cautious.
They're solid, but they still movable. That's all I'm saying.
I'd just be real cautious about it if it was me. Like, I let them play, but I'd just be really concerned.
That's my thing. Like, we can't be too concerned about these women because, again, these women are tough. It's about to be a shitty analogy, but some women are going to be against it. Some women are going to be for it. But if women can give birth, they can take a hit across them. That's all I'm saying. They can adore it. They can adore that shit, man.
All right.
That's nothing to them. Versus 10 hours of pain in their birth canal? Come on. And right. All the time I'll pro-compare childbirth because we all know my feeling about to the nuts. So
if you say so. Yeah, just
precautionary.
Yeah, hey, look. The views expressed by Crawford do not reflect the views of Kenneth Whitaker.
Yeah, they do. Some of them do.
When they do, I will let it be known. That one does not.
He's lying.
Every time you say something wild or reckless. Because you say more reckless stuff than I do. Because nigga, you be off the rails, my guy. Continue with your 10 count.
Fuck out of that. Okay.
Continue on with that 10 count. Or whatever you got.
Yeah, whatever we're gonna call it, right?
Right, whatever we're calling this week.
So Vince McMahon sent Keith Lee and Otis back to the performance center. And why? Because Keith Lee is eating right now. Like this is he has momentum right now. Why would you demote him or even send him back to the performance center to re-show him how to wrestle? Like, come on, this is a seasoned vet here. Otis, if anything, would be the one that had to go back to PC. But Otis is doing a great job on screen. So it's like, I don't understand the logic in them having to go back to the performance center and have to relearn anything. Which brings me to the fact that the pipe bomb is still relevant to this day. Just from what CM Punk said.
Well,
like this country isn't going to get better until the patriarch of this company finally, hands over the keys. But he's never going to hand over the keys, Kenny. So
you never know, he might.
No.
Listen, it's funny because I was telling y'all Otis went from Money in the Bank to getting that jump strip to now he's not even on the main roster anymore. Like they just wasted a pay-per-view victory for something.
And that's another thing. Like they take the briefcase from Otis. I don't understand why, but fine. All right. Y'all can have it. Now you're building Otis up to, have some type of angle where he's training with Chad Gable, which kudos to them for giving Gable something to do for once.
Yeah.
But they just pretty much shat the bed with Otis's character. And Otis's character is fun to me. Like, you don't like it.
So the thing with him and Maddie is done.
They put it in the back burner. That's another thing. They separated the two and just like did nothing with that. They just, if we're being honest, they've indirectly sabotaged Otis's character.
I never said I didn't like the character. I just thought he didn't deserve to be Money in the Bank.
Okay, fair enough. That's a fair point. But how they did it was comical, and it was right up Otis's alley, and that's why I enjoyed it. And my thing is that they could have held it. He could have been briefcase holder when Tucky turned on him. That way, the idea of them turning in the briefcase for tag team championships is out the window. But you can still give them that opportunity to turn it in for the Intercontinental Championship, which how often does anybody cash in for the singles championship? And would that add prestige to the championship that you decide to cash in on that the singles championship rather than the world championship like everybody else does? I think it does. It would.
Right.
They dropped the ball on many aspects here, in my opinion.
They try to hold that Money in the Bank for a major title. So when they're going to do like a quick title change that people aren't happy with, and they feel like people aren't happy with, they're going to all right, go cash in. To try to change the trajectory of it.
But what if somebody that nobody really banged with ended up winning the briefcase? Then
That's
what?
Because now they got heel heat. Boo.
Do they?
They should.
Like, it's one thing to be like, I hate this motherfucker, and then there's another thing to be like, yeah, I'm not into his character at all.
Hey,
like you can hate it. Like you can hate a heel. But oh my god, I hate him. Like Roman Reigns. Like we hate this motherfucker. But it's pretty undeniable that he's doing excellent heel work right now. It's undisputed. So, but it's another thing. Like King Corbin, I'm just starting to like Corbin, and only a little bit, because it's like the possibility of what his character could be. I'm liking the potential of Baron Corbin, but they're probably just going to squander Corbin to be a one-dimensional character, which sucks.
Yeah.
Nevertheless.
Indeed.
So we'll close out the wrestling portion with the results to motherfucking War Games. My God, Kenny. When I told you last week that I didn't know what the other matches were other than the War Games matches, but I'm willing to bet that it would not disappoint. If you had put me up on that bet, I would have won that bet, Kenny. Because boy, oh boy, this man.
It was like that, huh?
It was like that Leon Ruff versus Johnny Gargano versus Damian Priest match went crazy, even though I wasn't a fan of the end result because Johnny Gargano's champion again. Fair enough.
Hey.
That Tommaso Ciampa versus Timothy Thatcher match, that was hard hitting to a certain extent. It wasn't what we were 100% looking forward to, but it left it left us wanting more. So they could go harder the next time they beat the shit out of each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just left, it left imagination. Dexter Lumis, who's starting to become a favorite of mine, because that motherfucker creepy as hell. Dexter Lumis, right? If you recall Stone Cold Steve Austin's first iteration. I mean his first iteration. I mean directly after he was the ringmaster. The first time he started, at his first on-screen appearance as Stone Cold Steve Austin. And he was trying to be like cold, calculated, and creepy.
Yeah.
That's what Dexter Lumis is.
Okay.
And he does it correctly. Let me tell you something about my man Dexter Lumis, dog. Like, this guy doesn't say a fucking word. A word.
Not one, huh?
But he absolutely gets his character across because the fact that he says nothing and he just stares dead at you with that cold, dead stare, like that creepy, wild-eyed stare.
Makes him great. I feel like I
terrifying. Okay, it's absolutely terrifying. Then not only that, his ring psychology is equally terrifying because he has a ring psychology of a fucking horror movie killer. Like, he wrestles like a horror movie killer.
Slow and methodical.
Yes. And it's not a Triple H slow and methodical. It's a slow and methodical to the point where, like, you're like, oh my God, he's kind of like buttering him up for whatever he may be buttering him up. He might commit murder. And his finisher is essentially a stranglehold. He's essentially he's murdering you. Like, he's strangling you to death. The character is genius. So, like, you take him and somebody as fucking obnoxious as Cameron Grimes, man, makes for great TV. because Cameron Grimes, he doesn't shut up. He annoying hell, and he sound like a bumpkin. He sound like Jamie Noble.
Oh God.
Yeah. He sounds like an amped up Jamie Noble, dog. That's Cameron Grimes, bro.
That's terrible.
That is terrible.
I do not want to see that.
However, that match went crazy because Cameron Grimes thought he was slick, comes in with his own strap, and is like, if we're not using my strap, we're not fighting. So the referee looks at Loomis, is like, are you okay with his strap? And Loomis just staring. And then he looks back at Cameron Grimes and goes, I think he's okay with the strap. But then, like, as he get ready to put the strap on Loomis or whatever, Grimes, like, sneaks Loomis and, starts beating the hell out of Loomis. However, Loomis gets the upper hand. They get the strap on, and Loomis just outright dogs the shit out of Cameron Grimes for the next 5 minutes or so. So, it was fun. It was fun to watch. It's fun and to the point as well. But let me tell you something about the War Games. Because, boy, did the War Games go crazy. That's for true. So, this, if you don't count the pre-show, in which Kenny doesn't,
No.
Opening match was the women's War Games match. All right. Team Candace, Miss LeRae, Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, and Toni Storm versus Team Shotzi Blackheart, Ember Moon, Rhea Ripley, and Io Shirai. I'll put it to you like this. There was a spot in the match where Io Shirai was at the top of the cage and puts an entire trash can over her body and cross bodies everyone.
Wow.
That's how crazy that match went. All right. Now, the Team McAfee, which consisted of former Giants punter Pat McAfee, who turns out is an excellent wrestler, Pete Dunne, and NXT Tag Team Champions Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan versus the Undisputed Era, which is Adam Cole, baby.
Always in War Games, bro.
Undisputed Era, that War Games is their niche match. You know how certain superstars have their niche matches, like how Kane and The Undertaker has your casket and buried alive matches and Hell in a Cell matches. Yeah. Sasha Banks has her Hell in a Cell match that for some odd reason she's in, but usually loses. But that's not the point. Or the Hardys and TLC matches, so on and so forth. War Games match is Undisputed Era's niche match. To the point where if Undisputed Era were to ever go to the main roster, there's a you could move the War Games to a full 3 roster event in which Undisputed Era headlines it roughly every year until they break up.
Oh, that's why I wanted to play Madden. They're losing 24-3 to the Rams.
Nah, he gonna sit and wallow in defeat because he gonna learn what defeat is. He's going to learn what full-on defeat is rather than quitting a fucking game or talking about the 6 championships that they won. Well, which he probably shouldn't be proud of 4 of them at least, but whatever.
Yeah, he definitely stole one from us.
Well, he stole one from y'all, but that was an honest win. I can't. No, wait. Yeah. No. That was 1-03, right?
Yeah, 04. Mm-hmm.
No. They stole that shit from you.
Yeah, we should have 2 Super Bowls. both against New England.
Huh. So that Super Bowl was more like a revenge game, if we're being honest. A redemption game, if you will.
Yeah, that's redemption.
Man, that's funny how history works, right?
No, it pissed me off.
I get your point. But yeah, Undisputed Era, they have the chance for that match to be their niche match through their careers in WWE. However, as far as that match went, there was one spot which was very similar to Io Shirai's trash can spot. However, there was no trash can involved. Instead, Pat McAfee swanton bombed onto the entire field. But the thing was, usually when they do these spots, they land like a stage dive.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of like a wave of people, but you end up falling into the wave of people, right?
Right.
No one caught Pat, and he just swung straight to the fucking mat.
God.
I said, "Oh my God, he's dead."
That definitely has to hurt.
He came back to life at some point during the match, and well, that's when things started to escalate, because throughout that match, it was a certain pace, a certain like medium pace where things were constantly going on throughout the match, but it wasn't anything jumping or whatever, or like few moments jumped out at you while things were consistently going on. However, they brought it home in the form of like the fireworks finale. Like just a whole bunch of weapons flying everywhere, bodies flying into weapons sitting stationary. Adam Cole took us like a fucking gut buster, like a chest buster to the fucking a sitting chair. Like the back part. Your man's went chest first into the back part, bro.
Wow.
That shit was gruesome, but it was awesome. Nonetheless, Undisputed Era came up with the W. Like I said, WarGames was a hell of a pay-per-view. It's always a hell of a pay-per-view. Like, they need to share the wealth. Like, NXT needs to share the wealth. Something. Like, something needs to happen, because all the writing, the directing, the handling of the superstars on NXT is notably superior than at least Raw and SmackDown considerably. So it's like, why don't we draft shuffle writing? Some of NXT's writers gotta go to Raw, SmackDown.
Yeah.
Some of Raw, SmackDown's writers gotta come to NXT. Maybe they'll learn a thing or two.
Maybe.
Like, I don't know. Like, we constantly bag on WWE writing, but on the other side of that fence is like, do we know how to handle the egos and characters and gimmicks and chemistries of roughly 70 people? My answer is yes. So I do the shit on universe mode all the time. So it's going very well, actually. I can't wait to start the Twitch for it.
Wow.
So, fuck
Broncos kicker sucks.
question. You said what?
The Broncos kicker sucks. He missed another extra point.
Kenny, the Broncos suck. What do you expect here?
Well, they
Save Jerry Judy and Von Miller.
They winning out. KJ Hamler just scored.
At any rate, so Pfizer manufactures an emergency vaccine for COVID. Are you going to take it, Kenny? Kenny?
Look how I'm looking at you. Do you think?
Look, Because listen, man.
You think I'm going to take the vaccine?
Fuck no.
Okay.
You'd be stupid. Like, here's my thing, right? I have seen two things that have got my wheels turning on this vaccine issue. Number one,
facial paralysis.
Our group chat. They posted an article from, but it was a headline on Google, but it was in the health section of Google. I believe it was, the source was the Wall Street Journal. I'm not 100% sure, but it was a newspaper source. They were saying that there were 4 people that, tested this vaccine out that were, the guinea pigs for the vaccine, and they have Bell's palsy, or they contracted Bell's palsy, at which that's a dangerous game to be playing because, it's a dangerous game to play. Like, Bell's palsy is no joke. I joke about Jim Ross, but Bell's palsy is no joke. So I wouldn't dare joke about Conway the Machine. He'll shoot me. But Bell's palsy is no joke. The other thing that I saw was somebody that tweeted, if they are testing it, or it was something along the lines of, you would think they would, if they were testing it on, healthcare workers first, it would kill us all, pretty much. Meaning, if the vaccine wasn't as effective as it, as people were claiming that it may not be, or if it's just, a bunch of things that they threw together into a mix for a vaccine, and then they had the healthcare workers be the guinea pigs for it, it would kill all the healthcare workers, thus fucking us over. And which one of two things go into that. Number one, they didn't think that through. Number two, they did think it through, and that's the plan all along. But number two sounds too much of a conspiracy theory. So it sounds too much like number one, if it were the case. However, it's a strong belief in the medical community that this isn't just some bullshit, cocktail or concoction. They actually sat and R&D'd this to the point where they have made it FDA approved and safe to use. And it's like, if I have like one of my friends from high school, she is one of the scientists that are on this vaccine case, the research and development of this vaccine. And if she can attest that it's, safe enough for us to use, because, well, let's face it, with Western medicine, there's always going to be side effects of some sort.
Yeah, it's always some side effect.
There's always going to be some side effect. But if she can attest to the fact that it's safe to use, it's safe for us to use, I'll at least consider it. I'll consider it. I won't outright say that I'll go ahead and use it, willy-nilly. No. I'm going to see how a couple of people pan out first. And if they're like, they cool, all right, then yeah, let's go ahead and get the vaccine going. Then that just it's kind of like, I'm treating this vaccine like
PlayStation
Video
5.
game consoles, exactly. Exactly. That's why I'm treating this vaccine like a video game console. When that jump first dropped, there's going to be bugs. There will be bugs because they were in a rush to meet a deadline of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
So there will be bugs. However, in due time, and once they figure out, what they did wrong with the first batch, and they tinker, make changes to it, and it's much better, it's much more effective, even, then yeah, that'll be the time to, get vaccinated, get that vaccination. And it's not like I'm an anti-vaxxer. Dear God, no, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. But you also have
I'm not jumping out there to get a vaccine either.
You also have to, gingerly step in when it comes to the U.S. government, like, because they are on sneaky regulation shit, and it's like it's questionable to the point where people conspire that this government is actively trying to not only disenfranchise, but even essentially murder its citizens in select areas. You look at the things that are going on in this country, and the accusations are plausible, which is the issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the issue. The fact that conspiracies like that can make you sit and go, "He has a point there." She's bringing up good points. They do, have excellent points here. So it's a matter of whether or not we can reasonably trust it, and which I want to see for myself first, because I'm skeptical. I'm a skeptic. That's what it boils down to. Kenny is just like, man, fuck all that extra shit. I'm not doing it first. That's my problem.
Yeah, not doing it first.
Hey, and I get it. I completely get it. So yeah, like I completely understand that. That's pretty much all I got in subject matter to this week, Kenny. I don't really still upset about yesterday evening, at least. Not upset about yesterday day, because
the end of the day is what upsets you.
Philly cheesesteak. Yeah, my day didn't end well. And if we're being honest, I'm not very high spirited about the next hour and a half either, seeing as how we're playing at 4. With that being said, I say it is. Kenny, you got an Inside the 5 this week?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenny presents to you. Wait, goddamn, where's the fucking button for this? Oh, there it is. Inside the 5.
That man found a whistle zone. That is so funny. Yep, Inside the 5 this week. We're going to push towards the playoffs. Things are shaping up nice here in the National Football League. Number 5. I've done this before on this program. Didn't turn out well. I'm going to do it again because I'm liking how it's looking.
Oh, boy.
The Washington football team.
Yeah. Oh, no. No. Stop right there.
Listen, they got some momentum.
They're going to break your heart, Kenny.
They're not breaking my heart. I'm just observing what I'm seeing. The defense, it looks awesome. It's looking good, looking strong. They might win the division. I'm predicting them to win the division.
That's a problem if you predict that your rivals, your legitimate rival, is going to win the division.
Wayne's looking.
I don't know who y'all hate more, Dallas or Washington. And I think that hatred is equal.
I hate Dallas more, if you're asking me. Dallas is winning their game right now, so they're putting back in it. But if the Redskins or the football team can beat the 49ers this week, they got a good shot to win the division. Because all they need the Giants to do is the Giants to drop one, which is looking like they're about to do.
Good catch, Kenny.
Number 4.
Jaguars just put in Gardner Minshew. What are we doing here? What are we doing?
Number 4. Jets going to jet. Ladies and gentlemen, last week I've seen the greatest loss in NFL history, in my opinion. With 5 seconds left in regulation, with the Jets looking like on the verge of their first win. They give up a 50-yard pass to Henry Ruggs and the Raiders to lose the game, thus cementing them being probably the worst team until they get 0-16 to beat the Detroit Lions, right? Which is not a record we really want.
You want something funny?
What?
The Jets have wasted roughly 2-3 draft picks in the last 2 years or so.
Yep.
On quarterbacks.
Yep, and they're about to do it again. I think this one might actually help them, though.
No, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works in New York. Well, for the Jets at least. How this is going to go, Trevor Lawrence is going to get drafted, and no matter what he does, he probably ends up like Joe Burrow. Sad but true.
Jesus Christ. I think you get that young man some help. Number 3.
And a terrible team needing help on the offensive line and winding up getting injured because of it.
Number 3. Came and went. Ladies and gentlemen, I feel that the Carson Wentz era in Philadelphia is officially over. Why? Either one or two things are going to happen. Either one, if they do decide to keep Carson Wentz, which I heard a report from Adam Schefter this morning that they're intending to keep Carson, they're going to have to cut ties with Doug. You can't have him be the coach after benching.
Well, here's the thing. Here's why they're keeping Carson Wentz. Y'all paid him too much.
I know that. We paid him. They're not going to cut him this year because that'd be $55 million in dead money. We do not want to do that.
No, we do not.
But at the same time, they're going to try to rectify him one more time. They're going to try to do it with a new coaching staff. Doug's not going to be there if they keep Carson. And Howie's going to be gone too. 2 of them are probably going to be gone. 2 out of those 3 are not going to be there this year.
That is?
Doug Peterson and Howie Roseman.
The very same. Mm-hmm.
Which is sad because I feel like depending on how Jalen and the play calling goes today, I feel like it's designed. They're gonna have to get rid of Carson too. I'm torn as an Eagles fan. Not trying to be biased with this. I'm torn because there are reports out of practice saying that Jalen Hurts has swagger that Carson Wentz does not have, and he's actually more energized in the huddle. But then there are reports saying that Carson's looking better as the backup. So it's like, is it really the play calling? Is it just Doug really doesn't know what he's doing? It was all Frank Wright on the Super Bowl runs. But then you look at that offense when Nick was running the offense, they winning games. So it's like, why can't you do what Nick Foles was doing? Why can't you run it the same way? Like, what's the issue? Like, I get offensive line injuries are brutalizing this man, and that's going to be the same struggle for Jalen Hurts today. But
sure,
Carson just has looked really bad this year.
Well, here's my unbiased analysis on things, right? Carson Wentz just needs help. That's what it all boils down to. He just needs help. Because Carson Wentz is actually a competent quarterback. He's more than competent, actually. Carson Wentz is actually a good quarterback, a quarterback that you can actually have in a game week in and week out and be like, he's not going to cause us the game, or like his game is not going to cause us the game. Jalen Hurts is another story because Jalen Hurts' game is a liability. You see, the thing is that Jalen Hurts may have the swagger in the locker room. He may have some type of leadership, or a more imposing leadership type of aura than Carson Wentz does. But here's the thing. If I can get my camera back on. Here's the thing. Jalen Hurts is not as good as people hype him up to be, which is ironic because we say this about white quarterbacks usually. This is a black quarterback. And if this show is a very pro-black quarterback show. This is not a black quarterback I would get behind, because my thing is that his arm strength is questionable, his accuracy is questionable, it's hit and miss. Then not only that, essentially all he's good for is option and read type plays, but even then he's like not a big deal as far as that goes, like your Lamar Jacksons or your Russell Wilsons, so on and so forth, where you set them up in a read option, it's a fucking issue whether or not you prepared for it that week.
Right.
You see Jalen Hurts line up for a read option, you're like, I think we got this covered. Like, Jalen Hurts just doesn't feel like that big of a threat. Jalen Hurts is more of a game managing quarterback, if anything. If you really had to peg him as a quarterback of some sort, as of right now, that's what he is. Is there room for improvement? Sure, always. There'll always be room for improvement for young cats like that. And Jalen Hurts is a young cat. He can only get better. But for right now, no. You need to give him time to develop and come into his own in his style of play, because he has a style of play that can be deceptive, but it's just predictable right now. And you give him a few years. Like, you give Jalen Hurts a few years with some, excellent coaching, he can be a big name like your Patrick Mahomes or your Deshaun Watson. He can be a household name. But, depending on him now, I wouldn't. I would still stick with Carson Wentz. I would just give Carson Wentz, some protection first and foremost. A couple of shiny new toys wouldn't hurt either. So, no, that's just how I feel about that for you guys.
I agree. I mean, I agree. Remember two words of mine? Kirk Cousins is throwing the ball to everybody but Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson on the week of the playoffs starting. It's pissing me off. Number two, speaking of that, it was a perfect segue into number two, Justin Jefferson. Ladies and gentlemen, he cemented my rookie of the year vote. This guy, he's a beast. I watched him at LSU, I'm an LSU fan. But the way that he's been performing this year, he's cementing that rookie of the year for me.
So he's earning it instead of being bestowed upon for bias. All right.
Yes.
I can get behind that.
He's definitely earned it. He's definitely came in And like I predicted, day one contributed mightily with that void left by Stephon Diggs.
I'm trying to think. What other rookies are out there this season?
At receiver?
No, in general.
Well, Burrow got hurt.
Exactly.
Chase Young is defensive rookie.
Oh. Get him the fuck out of Washington immediately. That kid's a star. Oh my gosh, he's a star.
Yeah, he's a stud, man. He's that's not even fair.
Yo, he's current. If you ask me, he has the makings to be the Aaron Donald of the NFC East, and Washington will still go nowhere. That's the sad truth about it.
Mm-hmm.
So you have
number one
holding y'all down for no reason. Sad. Chase Young about to win no Super Bowl if he spends his entire career in Washington. That's for true. Washington's not going. Washington has a chance of going back to the Super Bowl as we do. There. That's how it is. That's how it's going to be. All right. Yeah. So y'all roll in those 3 Super Bowl wins. All right.
Jesus Christ. And number one, this may make Carlos angry.
Probably.
Watch the Packers. Packers, you want to talk about a team that got momentum? Aaron Rodgers in his bag this year. He's in his bag. He's in his bag. He's in his bag. Rodgers is in his bag. And he's just, you can tell when Rodgers is in his bag because he'll be on the field just like, yeah, just snap it. Yeah, that's a touchdown. All right, let's just get off the field. Let's do it. He in his bag. Like, he's
been doing this shit for years, man. I don't know why motherfuckers doubted Aaron Rodgers. I believe I doubted Aaron Rodgers at some point. If I did, I'm sorry for that. I should have known better.
Him and Devontae Adams easily making a contention for the best quarterback wide receiver tandem in the league right now.
If we're being honest, I should have just stayed a Green Bay Packers fan, but here we are. I blame John Elway. So
that's not instinct 5. I don't have anything else. Los is going to talk about hating John Elway for like another 10 minutes. So
probably. Let's see how this goes.
I got nothing else inside the 5 for y'all. I'm just telling y'all. The way Green Bay is playing, don't be surprised you see them in the Super Bowl.
Green Bay Packers have won a Super Bowl in the last 10 years.
Yes, they have.
You know what I'm saying? I could have enjoyed that. You know? Like, that could have been me. I could have been that guy that could have been happy about that. But no. I had to be discouraged. Be in the market for a new team. I see a particular team beat the Minnesota Vikings that year, which is probably the best team the Minnesota Vikings ever had.
If we're being honest, you should have
lose to John fucking Elway in the Super Bowl. Like,
if we're being honest, you should have waited till after the Super Bowl to pick your team.
Probably, but I was young.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us. So, final thoughts?
Yeah, actually. If I may come back to pre-show, Philly is essentially DC. And I don't mean to be a dick about it, but I was out there and I felt with an element. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how like when you're in a certain area, you feel like you are well aware of the elements.
Yes.
And so you like kind of, situate yourself to that area to where you're like comfortable into the area.
Yes.
That is me in DC. Like,
Philly.
no, we'll get to Philly. We'll get to that comparison because there's, I want to say, two different me's. Like, there's regular home me where I don't necessarily have to worry per se until I see red and blue lights, at least. But I can walk down the street without having to keep my head on a swivel to a certain extent, or have to listen out for anything, things like that. You know what I'm saying? As you would in the city, as opposed to in DC, my head is constantly on a swivel. However, you would never notice that because I'm not constantly moving my head, but like I'm just really aware. I'm much more aware of my surroundings, and because I'm much more aware of my surroundings and I see that my surroundings are relaxed, I'm relaxed. And in turn, that's how I was on Broad Street in Germantown. Broad Street in Germantown Ave. Like, I was well aware of my surroundings. However, I felt comfortable too. And I like it. That's why that's the main reason why I say, Philly was a lot like DC to me, because it just, not only did it look, for the most part, residentially like DC, but the vibe, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just felt like that atmosphere, that, that city atmosphere where you see motherfuckers on the block or whatever, and they just posted up chilling. They're not really bothering anybody but the block posting patrons, unless they selling something.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Texans' bad offensive line has just hurt Deshaun Watson.
God damn it. You hate to see that. You really do. You really do. That don't make no damn sense, man. Like, it's... I think we're starting to realize the importance of the offensive lineman. I think that's something we should look forward to in the next 5 years or so. The evolution of the offensive lineman.
Correct.
But that's aside from my final thought. To wrap up my final thought, it's so it just felt like the same atmosphere. So I didn't feel uncomfortable or like a tourist in Philadelphia. I felt like somebody that blended in for the most part. I actually belonged there. I probably didn't look like I belonged there. I kind of did to a certain extent, but I acted as if I belonged there, because it's it wasn't. It didn't feel like I was a tourist. So I enjoyed my trip. Also, I want to add in side note. Ducky was mad at me for not checking in.
Told you.
Boy, Ducky was mad at all my ass for not checking in.
I told you.
Yeah. No,
I told you.
That ass though, no, because seriously, next time I do go out there, it's going to be with you first and foremost. And not only do we have to link up with Ducky so he can show us around more, we definitely have to drop by on my older sister too, because I believe she's out in Philly as well. So it'd be nice to drop by and say what's up to her. I haven't seen her in years. Years, I say. I think the last time I saw her was the first time I ever met her. That's the irony of it all.
That's crazy.
That is crazy, but it's
I
like
got family out there too, so I'm always willing to see my people.
but it's like it's not my mom's daughter. Like that's another lady's daughter, so it's like we're not as close.
Yeah, but that's still your family.
The connection that we have is our dad. So
Yeah, but that's still.
But yeah, definitely. Nonetheless, that's my older sister. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the least I could do is stop by and say what's up to her. So that's definitely on the to-do list when I go out there, or next time I go out there. Oh, what were your final thoughts, Kenny?
My final thought is I'm glad you listened to me and with the Maxes. And not Geno's and Pat's.
Yeah, nah. Let's have a quick cheesesteak discussion because the first time I've ever had a Philly cheesesteak in my entire life was essentially completely by accident. We were coming from my dad's cousin's funeral out in Jersey, and we took a wrong turn and wound up in Philly. And my dad was like, well, hell, since we're here, let's go visit my Uncle Billy. And while we, went to go visit my Uncle Billy, we stopped at Ishkabibbles. That was the first time I ever had a Philly cheesesteak. And I'd been trying to chase that high ever since. Like, so, going back out there, I was strongly considering Ishkabibbles again. Well, I was looking at reviews for other places, and I was like, I don't know. If all else fails, we'll go to Ishkabibbles if I'm still confused. And then you recommended Max's, and I was like, well, you're essentially a Philly nigga, so I'm going to take your word for it. And boy, were you right. So, boy, were you right. Listen, I had a motherfucking the provolone, fucking onions, ketchup, mayo. That shit was man.
See, I get a chicken cheese.
You get a chicken? Well, yeah. Those go. Listen, chicken cheesesteaks go crazy, but I wanted authentic. So it's like, all right, that's what we went with. So
you're doing just as fine.
I'll bet, actually, now that you mention it. But you also recommended that I go for the full, in which go to hell, Kenny. I'm not that gluttonous. that motherfucking regular size cheesesteak was the right amount. Because listen, me and homegirl, we got our cheesesteaks around like 1:45, 2 o'clock or so. We pulled up at like a little park area on the waterfront and ate or whatever. And it was like maybe 2:50, 3 o'clock when we finished eating. And we went to the National Museum of Art and
the Rocky Steps.
Yeah. I'm going to refer to it to what the fuck it is, all right? Yeah, the National Museum of Art. It was a National Museum of Art first before 1976, you asshole. So show us some goddamn respect.
I am.
No, we're respecting that's what it is, and that's the Museum of National Art, not the Rocky Steps, you dick.
What it is the Rocky Steps.
Fuck that movie, man.
Yeah, you can say that all you want, but what did they call it? Hey, we're going to the Rocky Steps.
I swear they even called the fucking Rocky Steps on the Google map. I was so pissed when I saw that. I was infuriated. I said, "This is bullshit." Like, as I said, it's National Museum of Art, but when you like click on National Museum of Art, you map the joint out or whatever. they give you the coordinates to the National Museum of Art, but literally directly next to the like destination point is a little like rocky steps. Like, what the fuck, man? Come on. That's enough. That's fucking enough. Y'all are dick riding that movie. All right.
Sir. They've
Don't
been the Rocky Steps. They've been the Rocky Steps for over 2 decades.
But it was the National Museum of 3, motherfucker. Like
they didn't know that. They just say, "Oh, that's the museum." Now it's the Rocky Steps.
That's sad. That's sad. I think that goes to show how self-centered American culture can be.
I think he's just upset that you don't. You just need to call it Rocky Steps and just leave it alone.
Fuck you. No, I won't.
They're the Rocky Steps, bro.
That's my stand against that. I'll whoop Rocky ass. All right. We'll whoop Rocky like he owed me money. All right.
Okay. You got the Rocky Steps, bro.
I will beat Rocky like my meat. You hear me?
Okay. While you do that, you make sure you're standing on them steps. His steps, the Rocky Steps.
Fuck those steps. I'll Cisco thong stong fly over those steps. yeah. Bring it home, Kenny.
That being said, my name is Kenneth Whitaker, aka Hendrik Soul, the original owner of Millennium Falcon. This here vessel was mine, the baddest of the galaxy.
We partying on that.
Only vessel that can dispose of Han Solo.
Oh,
it's been a while.
Here we go again.
Fair enough.
It's been a while. It's been a while since I brought him up.
That's fair. That's fair.
Hey, Last Black Jedi. Do not. There is no try. Like if you try to take that PS5 from me, I will personally give my man to Sweet Chin Music your ass. That's right, Los. You're that man. AKA Mr. Ghost Slick Vodka. AKA Mr. Ghost Slick Vodka. What do you think Becca's gonna be excited? You bought a bottle of lube? Oh, Evan, thank you for bringing that lube for my pussy. And then I got it for his dick. Inside that pussy, and I got a bottle of lube. These are 17-year-old girls. I tried up old ladies. They're good to go. Oh, no. Hey, bring a condom? No. You have to bring a condom. But you laughed in my face when I said we have sex tonight. You didn't discuss this as a plan. You keep talking about plans. We didn't have any plans. Oh, man.
Oh, man. That's fun. I love that quote. That is my favorite. That's one of my favorite quotes in that movie. I'm not gonna lie to you. Might be misogynistic, but whatever. Like it is. I love it. That one.
AKA Nacho Man, I'm a savage. Oh, yeah. See, one thing you gotta remember, me, Gene, is that no matter the weather, the Nacho Man's always hot to trot because I am the king of the crop, me, Gene. And one thing you gotta remember, me, Gene, is that when I go and take a trip to Philadelphia, I know I gotta go to Max's Cheesesteak. Yeah, you thought that Nacho Man didn't know what he was talking about, me, Gene. See, this is my problem with me, Gene. You always think you know better than the Nacho Man.
Sometimes
Nacho Man is not. Oh no, you don't, Nacho Man. Don't you just don't you interrupt the Nacho Man? Me, Gene, you're on thin ice.
Right.
It's it. Now I'm gonna finish what I'm saying because any thought that thinks they're too hot to try to walk into the Nacho Man's life and ruin it is going to get a surprise elbow drop from the top. Oh yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Nacho Man, I'm a Savage, live in front of Max's Steaks. Oh, I think mine's is ready. Back to you, Bobby.
Yeah. I couldn't cut it off. It's hilarious. AKA the very sexual, the very tight.
Very tight-ish.
Austin Powers Faja.
Wait, it's Faja?
Dad is Faja.
Ah. there.
Can someone help me, please? It is me, Mustafa. I'm still very much alive, but I'm in an incredible amount of pain. Where's Dr. Evil hiding? I never told you. Where's Dr. Evil hiding? They're great with me. Where's Dr. Evil hiding? Ah, the secret for him. Damn, 3 times. Where's Dr. Evil working for? And that's it. Am I really going to have to ask you 2 more times? Where's Dr. Evil working? I took it to the group. Ah!
No!
He asked you 2 times. You have to tell him. No! The same question was, I'm going to have to ask you 2 more times, which starts a new line of questioning. Oh, that was a continuation of the other line of questioning. AKA Mr. Kennedy Black Man. Yeah, now that War Games is over and I demoted Otis back to NXT and Keith Lee, I think each and every one of you people need to understand that I'm always in control. So it doesn't matter what you people tweet about all your Twitter totter or whatever you call that app. I'm too old to understand it. I just let my people do it for me because I'm not socially conscious about anything. All I know is the old way, and the old way is the best way because you people eat it up like slop in prison yard. So get Roman Reigns, get Ric Flair and Randy Orton, and The Rock, and Triple H, and Undertaker. I don't care if he just retired as the Survivor Series. He's getting back in the ring, and we're going to have ourselves a geriatric wheelchair match, and it's going to take place where, Carlos?
In your office.
In my office. And once each and every one of those geriatrics get in that wheelchair, people are going to be subject to my favorite type of match. Do you know what that match is, Carlos?
Oh, God. Anything that involves
match. And you're going to grab it, and you're going to reach for that brass ring, and just when you think you're getting a push, you people are going to be knocked back down into intercontinental purgatory.
This black man got to die already, man. How old is he again?
This black man has certificate on a pole match. My dying wish.
Let's fucking go. All right, this is the only on a pole match I can get behind.
Wow. Too bad I'm immortal.
Only way you can get me to do it on a pole match. If it is.
Too bad I'm immortal.
I can write down how I can murder him legally. Yes.
Wow. That's
we're out of fucking control. All right, yeah. Let me bring it home. My name is Carlos Crawford, aka Super Kicking Booker T out of the NWO. It's Chin Music Charlie. So then I thought, bang, you know what I'm saying? AKA Washington, D.C. with Anastasia Vanderbust. I woo!
What? It just jumped. Lord have mercy.
Look her up. AKA Snack Miller. What's the difference between a bitch and a bitch? Well, a bitch and a bitch. When this bitch start tripping shit, I've been smart. Spitting by the benchmark. Wisdom of a Templar. Shit like lifting with my left arm. AKA Gelato Graham. Graham's Gelato. Now a sports bar and dispensary. aka the Idiom Savant. Florida, get your shit together. Get it all together and put it in a backpack, all your shit, so it's together. And if you got to take it somewhere, take it somewhere, take it to the shit store, sell it, or put it in a shit museum. But whatever you do, get it together. If you know that reference, you know. Yeah. However, I wasn't prepared because I got my shit turned off on me. So now I got to open up YouTube again. God damn it. Yeah. Goddamn Jeremiah. All right, there we go. AKA Haystack West. Well, Sheriff, here's Juarez. Good work. I got another. Yeah, we're letting them walk. The hell we are? Sheriff, what's he wanted for anyway? Sale and distribution of marijuana. So, sale and distribution of cigarettes. This isn't tobacco, Haystack. It technically is. This is coming from a guy that keeps one lit in his mouth. That's not tobacco. Well, now you're under a shut up or I'll shoot your face off. Listen. We're going to make you worry. If you want me to carry out any more bounties for you. We're in the most dangerous player. Everybody, well, the work is dead. So you don't have much choice unless you want to do the work yourself. Are you fat sack of shit? Speak for yourself. We're gonna let this operation continue for your sake. But if he causes any trouble in the area, you'll be taking him down, you asshole. Way to threaten me with a good time. See, Juarez, your business makes us reasonable people. Now you heard the man, you're free to go. And I'll be over there at the end of the week. And ladies and gentlemen, that was episode 120. Like and subscribe us on YouTube. Twitter and YouTube, respectively. Wait, Facebook and YouTube, respectively. Like and subscribe us on Facebook,
Twitter, and YouTube.
YouTube, respectively. Follow us
on social media platforms.
Gorilla Gang Podcast.
Gang_podcast.
On Twitter. Gorilla Gang Podcast on Facebook, and yeah, that's episode 120. We off this.
Yeah.
Hey, Kenny, say something stupid.